Hi guys, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to take control of your Amazon AWS account and manage EC2 instances created in under it using Ansible. So in past videos and future videos I'm going to tell you details about how Ansible works, how to install Ansible, what is Ansible basically, but this video is not for that. This video is specifically targeted to work with AWS, specifically EC2 instances created and managed via Ansible. So I have an AWS account created. As you can see, I'm connected to region US West, and I don't have any EC2 instances running. As you can see, nothing is running. So I'm going to create an EC2 instance with Ansible and then probably manage. By manage, I'm not going to do any specific task as of yet in this video. I'm going to just ping and show you that I can use my local Ansible installation and take control of an EC2 instance running in AWS. So that's the main goal of this tutorial. Okay, so all the commands that I'm going to trigger, everything is in my GitHub repo as usual. So you need to go to my GitHub repo and then go to video tutorial repository, go to Ansible. There you have all the details, all the commands that I'm going to trigger in this particular video and all in past on along with future videos. So specifically, first let's go to the section for this video, that's AWS. So this is the section for this video. Now that's those are the commands. Let's go to my machine. So I haven't, as I've shown in any previous video how to install Ansible locally, I have done that. So I have an Ansible installed in my local machine. It's a version 2.5.2, which is fairly new and good for our purpose. And I'm going to create a clear alias so that I can quickly clear my screen. Okay, so first of all I need to do some setups before you start managing EC2 instances by this local Ansible instance. So to do that I need to sync my time with an NTP server. To do that, let me install this. Okay, lucky I'm already installed. I have that installed, and then let me sync my time with an NTP server. That's important. Why? Because AWS, taking control of AWS means you need to generate tokens and use that for all your communication to authenticate and authorize. And those tokens are time bound, and you need to have a well synced machine which is giving you good time for those tokens to work. So that's what I did here. So I've already done that. So next let me go ahead. So now next two important things that I need to set is how does this local account connect to AWS, how it authenticates and authorize to your AWS account. To do that you need to set two variables with the correct AWS access key ID and the AWS secret access key. So these should be set. I've already set that. I'm not going to show my. So if you see, I already have those variables set. So I'm going to show you my secrets, but just in case if you don't know where to get it, so basically in your account you go to secret credentials this off. In this section, you'll have those access keys, and the secret is not shown here. It will be provided to you during the time of creation. If you have not created any, you can go ahead and create. If you have keys already created and lost the secret, so you can delete any one of them and then create a new one, then you will get a new secret. So that being said, I'm all done, ready. Okay, so I understand you have followed this step and set this to variables as I've done. Next, it's very important when you work with an EC2 instances, in AWS or any cloud infrastructure, you create instances programmatically, so new hosts are being created all the time. So I think it's very important for you to disable the host key checking, or else there will be meaningless prompt that will be asked for all playbooks, all script that run with new instances. So I go ahead and do that. One important aspect of this is, when I said this is only applicable to Ansible, not for manual scripts or command that you trigger to any remote host. So it's applicable to Ansible only. Second is, it's very important that my Ansible installation authenticate itself to Amazon EC2 instances with EC2 user and the private key that I have with me. So I need to configure Ansible and tell it that to use that key always, and saying that I'm going to also create all new instances using this as a private key so that everything works well. So let me set those three properties. Okay. So that being said, I should have that config file ready with me. Let me tell that. Okay. So as you can see, I have those properties set. We are good. And I also have the private key there available. That's very important. Okay. So now we are all set. Now, if you don't know where to create this private key for you, you should check out Amazon documentation for that, and also this link. If you go to this link, there will be an option to create new keys. So just remember, I will show you when you create new instances where to specify this key that you have mentioned here. I'll show you that when we create a playbook to create new EC2 instances. But just remember that to create a key and keep it available on the Ansible host for it to use. Okay, so that being said, let me go to the next section. Okay, so now, as I told you, in cloud you're going to create instances, EC2 instances on the fly, delete them, manage them. So new instances are going to come up. So your Ansible inventory, that's the list of hosts that Ansible is taking control of, it's not going to be static. It's going to change every moment as in you create new instances. So it's very important you work with a dynamic inventory, not a static inventory. So with cloud, Ansible gives you an option to work with a dynamic inventory. Okay, to work with a dynamic inventory, Ansible need a script to explode the inventory. That script can be downloaded from this link. So I'm going to download my dynamic inventory script. So I should have the inventory locally. I have that. Okay. Next is there's an ini file that have details about configuring the inventory. I'm not going to use that in this particular tutorial, but it will be used in future. Definitely there will be some future videos where I'm going to show you what's the purpose of this, how to use this ini file, but not this video. But just as a setup, you keep that downloaded. It's good. Okay, next I'm going to make this inventory script executable. It's very important that you make this inventory script executable. Why? Because Ansible needs this script to be executable. So Ansible doesn't know this is a py file or a bash script or a Java program. It doesn't know anything. What it does is it just executes that file, and with specific options to explore your inventory. I'll show you what it means is, but as I told you, Ansible is going to execute that file. So that file has to be an executable. So now that file itself should have all the details about how that file is going to execute. So if you see, this script has a detail that it is an Python script. So it has a detail that it's a Python script. So Unix reading this shebang will know this is a Python script and execute it with a Python interpreter. So you don't have to do anything. Ansible is not bothered about it's a Python script or shell script or anything. But the file should be executable. What Ansible does is Ansible executes it with a particular option, and fetches the result and works with that, thinking that's the correct inventory. So let us see what it actually means. Let me list all the instances that I have currently in my inventory. To do that, I execute the script and to a list. That's as simple as it gets. So what this should return is all the host that Ansible should manage. That's my total inventory. So this is what I do. So what Ansible is currently doing is it's connecting to my AWS instance and fetching the list of EC2 instances that are there. I'm going to list that here. So this is exactly what Ansible will do to get the inventory. Okay, so it generally takes some time. What Ansible also does is it caches this repository, the outcome, so that in future operations will be faster. Okay, so I do not have anything. That's pretty obvious, and we already know that we do not have anything. My EC2 dashboard is completely blank, and I do not have any running instance, so my inventory is blank. That's perfectly fine. So we are good with the setup. So we have good with the setup. We do not have to do anything now. This is the big thing. I'm going to create a playlist, and which will be creating an EC2 instance in my AWS account. Okay, I'm going to detail you everything about that, how to create that playlist, but let me copy the playlist right from this file. Then we're going to go detail about what this playlist is all about. Okay, just this is all that's important. Okay, let's go one by one. First, this is the name of my playlist. This is from where this particular playlist is going to be operating from. Obviously we are going to run this from my local host. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two security groups. Security groups are like firewalls for EC2 instances, allowing and disallowing network traffic inward and outward. So in AWS term we call it inbound and outbound. So there will be different firewall port opening requirements for different kind of applications. This is a basic simple CentOS host that is going to be created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to only open port 22, so that, and from anywhere. So this CIDR block means anywhere, and I'm just opening up 22 port, that is my SSH port, from anywhere. And the region where I'm creating this SSH group is, the security group is US West. Obviously that's where I'm going to create my EC2 instance. Next I'm going to allow all outbound traffic so that my EC2 instance can connect to anything in internet. That being said, these two security groups are created. The names of these are SSH and outbound. That being said, is the next task is obviously creating an EC2 instance. The first important task of creating an EC2 instance is choosing an AMI. And the AMI is a machine image, Amazon machine image. It's basically a kind of machine that this particular EC2 instance is going to become, whether it's a CentOS or anything like that. So I have chosen Amazon built CentOS image. I have to give an AMI ID, and I've given that. There's a way, in future video I'll show you how to query the AMI ID for a specific type of machine. So that's coming in a future video, not this one. So I'm taking this as granted that you know the AMI ID. So then in which region am I going to create my EC2? So as I told you, I'm going to create everything in US West region. So that's where I'm choose my region. Next important is what type of machine that I'm going to create. It's T2 micro. These are all Amazon specific jargons which probably you'll get in any Amazon AWS course. And then this is very critical. This is the key that this machine will accept. So as I told you, I have already set this in my Ansible config file. This is the default key I'm going to use. And the group is the security group that this machine is going to be connected to. So as I told you, I have already created two security groups, outbound and SSH, which allows all traffic to the internet from my EC2 instance and allow only SSH traffic from any machine on the internet to this EC2 instance. That's the two security group that I'm attaching to my EC2 instance. And then tags. So basically AWS works with the concept of tag, which is very powerful. In today's world, everything is tagged. So this video is not going to give you any detail of what tags are, why we should tag all instances. So basically tags are kind of name value pairs you attach to any object, so that you can refer to that particular object with that tag. So I'm attaching three tags. One is the name of my name is a very specific tag that names the EC2 instance. So all AWS account objects have this name tag. This is the name of the tag, that is name, very obvious. And the name of my object, that is an EC2 instance, is Ansible book, and the type is a web instance. So I'm going to use it, this particular instance, probably for some maybe it will be a web server for my for my enterprise. And then the environment that I'm going to use this particular EC2 instance is going to be and production. Okay, So that being said, this is all that is required to create an EC2 instance. And then what I'm doing is registering the output of this particular task into a variable called EC2 info. This will have all the details of this particular instance that is created, EC2 instance that is created in this variable, and I'm going to print that out in my console so that we know what is being created. That's all that I'm going to do in this playbook. It's a pretty simple one, but powerful one. So let me run this playbook and show you how powerful this playbook is in creating a simple Ansible playbook. This is how we run playbooks and keep the playbook name. That's it. Let's do that. So this is done. We have already created as per the logs here. What it says is the SSH outbound security group is created. The outbound security group is also created. EC2 instance creation, it is created. Changed means created. So task that in Ansible, as I told previously, Ansible works with states. The state changes means if a task that I'm requesting has been performed, and then this creation logs everything in a variable EC2, and in that log creation log creation section I'm going to print that. So this is what I just printed. This is all about all the details about my instance that was created using this. So this is supposed to be my EC2 instance ID. So let me see in console whether the instance is created or not. See if I refresh that. Excellent. So I have this created. It's still in initialization phase. That's okay. But etcd, this is the instance ID, and that's correct. This is what has been created with this playbook. So we had successfully created this EC2 instance. One important thing is we have already also created two security groups for inbound SSH traffic and outbound everything. So as you see, those two security groups are tagged. Let me see those are created or not. Yes, those are also created at this point of time. Another important thing, that is the tags. We have those tags correctly tagged, so we are absolutely good. So we are successful in creating an EC2 instance using this playbook. Next, very important thing that I'm going to do. So my machine is ready now. The next important thing is, as I told you, I need to manage this instance. So to do that, I'm going to use the script, as I told you, to list my inventory, and then from that inventory, what this command does is use this part, configures the inventory. Next, it states ask Ansible to work with this group. I'll tell you what this group is. So and run this ping module on all hosts that belong to this group. Okay, so the host that will be there in this inventory, which will be created by this inventory script. The inventory is going to generate dynamically, and all hosts that belongs to this group, Ansible is going to run this ping module. We're going to do that, but before that, let us understand which instances will be in this group. So this group is a default Ansible group. What Ansible states is that any group with tag of name type and value web will be part of this tag type web group. So if you already know that we have attached a tag type of value web to our EC2 instance, and you can see that in our created inventory, created EC2 instance also. So this instance has a tag name type and the value is web. So this particular instance will be in this group. We do not have to do anything. This is automatic configuration in Ansible. So we are going to test this to check Ansible can take control of the EC2 instance that was just created. So instance is created and running and ready to work with. So let us trigger this command and check if this can be done. So I'm going to do that. So the script is now creating the inventory. Once that inventory is created, Ansible is going to search for host that has that tag type web, then run the ping module on that. So our expectation is the newly created EC2 instance should be a target host. Ansible should run an ping module on that. So let's wait for that. It says it's unreachable. Okay. Why is that? To check that, let's see if this inventory was correctly configured. So this should be the public IP of my EC2 instance. Let's validate 9696. Yeah, so that's correct. So let us see what happens by running this in debug mode. It's important. Okay, the user is none. So what that means is Ansible config file is not working. Sorry. Okay, this is probably the reason. I can understand it is not in the correct group. We have to put this in correct places, not randomly at the end. That's what the mistake is. So let me configure this values in their correct places. Remote users should be placed this location, not randomly at the end. Private key file should be placed in its correct place, not randomly anywhere. And then host checking. think it should be in its exact place, not randomly here and there. That being said, we are done. Let me delete these three parameters. So as you see, this is a very good troubleshooting exercise. Ansible config file has different sections, and the configurations will be meaningful if you put the correct configuration in its correct place. So let's now ping it. Okay, so that being said, we are done. We were successfully able to run the ping module on my EC2 host. So we were successful in managing our EC2 instance. So in future tutorials, I'll show you some detailed steps how to build complex playbooks to do complex stuff on AWS and also how to manage an EC2 instance, run different tasks on it. But for this time and for today, bye bye. Thank you.